So Canelo Alvarez has three opponents next year: March 8th, July 26th, and November 22nd. Are they all going to be pay-per-view? Golden Boy says they are. Do we all want them to be pay-per-view? I don't know. That's the question I'm asking in this video. I want you guys to think, get back to me, comment, subscribe, tell me what you guys think about Canelo Alvarez. Is he worthy of three pay-per-views next year? Is he worthy of one pay-per-view? What has he done for us? What has he done for the sport? This is Boxing Disciple 17. What's up, guys? Thought I'd make a video on Canelo Alvarez. Golden Boy came out the other day saying that they've picked three dates for him in 2014. They want it all to be three pay-per-views. I don't think Canelo's ready to carry that burden. I don't think he's ready to carry pay-per-view stardom. I think it's kind of like with Adrian Broner. Broner's just not ready to be a pay-per-view marquee guy, and I don't think Canelo's ready either. I think that's going to be that will have to be another card that's stacked with great undercards for people to really pay and watch. I think a lot of people got turned off by him losing to Mayweather and pretty much getting shut out. A lot of people stopped thinking he was the best. I see a lot of comments saying Canelo's overhyped, overrated, can't do this, can't do that, and he will not be the next best thing. And then again, I see a lot of comments, people saying he will beat everybody else out there. He just had a problem with Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's to be seen. We don't know how to judge him just yet. His resume is very it's got a lot of holes in it. I don't really know if I'd consider it the best resume out there. When you're fighting guys like Cintron, Gomez, Hatton, and that's Ricky Hatton's brother. I mean, he's just kind of fighting guys that nobody really heard of or that are journeymen in the sport. Then he did come up and he fought Shane way past his prime. He couldn't knock out Shane Mosley. He hasn't really, for all the power he hasn't really knocked out anyone lately, but he did knock out Josecito Lopez, a guy who was two weight classes below him, weighing in, at the time he was a 140-pound fighter who rapidly, ate what he could find, cake, whatever, to get up to that 154 to fight Canelo. But let's be honest, Josecito Lopez is not that good a fighter. He did break Victor Ortiz's jaw, but he was losing that fight in all three judges' scorecards, just to say. He's lost his last two fights. I don't know what they're going to do with him next. But I'm just saying he's not a very good fighter. He also was a lot smaller than Canelo, so I don't give Canelo too much credit for what he did against Josecito. I think Canelo is a good fighter. He's on his way up. Against Austin Trout, great fight. It was very close. I think for me it was the knockdown that separated the winner from the loser. I had Canelo 115 to Austin Trout's 112. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. I thought it was a good fight. I thought Trout did not know what to expect, and I think in a rematch Trout would do a lot better. I'm not making this video at all saying Canelo's overhyped, he's garbage. I don't want to come off like that. I think Canelo Alvarez is a really good fighter. I think he is capable of beating a lot of guys in the 154-pound division. And I think he can be pay-per-view one day. I just think Golden Boy's kind of rushing his progress. They're rushing him. They really want to make as much money as they can off him, and they know to do it now. It's kind of like, okay, he just lost to Floyd. Everybody saw that fight. 2.2 million views. The Mexican population loves the man. They're behind him. They always will be behind him. And everybody just wants to see what's going to happen next. So I can't blame them for what they're doing. But I do have to say that they've really been protecting him. They're really just, milking him and milking, the years that he has coming. And they kind of just got to let him out there and let him fight. I don't think it's so much Canelo. I think Canelo wants to fight the best out there, and he really does want to be a solid champion. He wanted the Austin Trout fight. He was the one who pushed for that. It wasn't Golden Boy. Golden Boy would have ran the other way. They wanted everybody else. They did not want to fight Trout. So I give Canelo a lot of credit for doing that. He stepped up. I think for him to have good pay-per-view success in 2014, for us to want to watch the fights, the two big names that Richard Schaefer said, and those fights do need to happen for us to watch and for it to be pay-per-view worthy. That's Sergio Martinez and Miguel Cotto, two very good fighters. Sergio, I still put him top 5 pound for pound. I know he hasn't fought in over a year, but I do think he's still top 5. He's still a very good fighter. He has a lot left um, in the tank, and I think he's a very good fighter, and I know he has knee surgery and he won't be able to fight till the summer, which actually that will put him over a year. I'm sorry, he hasn't been a year yet, but that will put him over a year. And I think that fight could definitely happen. It could happen in 154, but I think just with Sergio being a bit older, I think they're going to talk about a catch weight, I believe, maybe a 157, 158. That's a great fight. It really is going to show us where Canelo is. It'll show us his progression. Is he there yet? I don't think that fight is in March. I also don't think that fight is in July. I think Canelo will need to fight a Victor Ortiz, a Carlos Molina, or an Angulo on the March 8th card. He will need to fight one of those guys to get back, to get his confidence back, to get over the Floyd Mayweather loss, show him I'm still a beast, I can still do damage, get some of the fans that are out there that I see, commenting that Canelo's a nobody and he was overhyped. He needs to get those people to watch him again. So I think March 8th he needs to fight one of those 3 guys, and I think he can beat all 3 of them. They will be tough fights, but he can beat those 3 guys, and that'll put him back up there. It'll be a great fight for him after the destruction to Floyd Mayweather, which a lot of people lose their confidence over, and you can seriously go the other way. I mean, look what happened to Victor Ortiz. He lost, after Floyd, and nobody's really talked about him since. Nobody expects much from the kid coming up. I think it'll be a great fight, though. If he can beat Gomez in December, that would be a great fight March 8th to watch. Carlos Molina, the champion, it'll give him an opportunity to get a belt back. I think that'll be a great fight. Angulo, a tough Mexican, big heart. That's another good fight. Big puncher. We can see what Canelo has. That's another really good fight. And he can beat those 3 guys. I'd go with them in March 8th. As for July, if Cotto, decides to leave Top Rank and go with Showtime, that fight needs to be made. It's a huge fight. Puerto Rico versus Mexico right there. That's huge. I believe July 26th is a little after the Puerto Rican Day Parade. It's just a great fight. It's going to go back and forth. I'd have a prediction video when that fight gets made, but that is just another great fight that's going to sell. And I think you finish the year off in November with a Sergio Martinez, and that's just a lineup stack. That's a definite pay-per-view card. Put something under there, but that's a definite pay-per-view. And that's the way I see the year going for Canelo. I'm very happy that he's fighting 3 times a year. I think he should be fighting 3 times a year. Golovkin's about to fight his 4th match, I believe it is, on Saturday. I have my Golovkin-Stevens breakdown video coming up. But yeah, he needs to be fighting 3 or 4 times a year. He's a 23-year-old guy, no 2 times a year bullshit. He needs to fight 3 or 4 times a year. He's doing the right thing. He needs to step up a little more and, tell Golden Boy, listen, I'm fighting the best out there. I don't want to see him go back too far and fight garbage opponents. No more of this stuff where he fights 100, he's going to fight a welterweight who wants to gain weight to fight him. I don't want to see that. I want to see him fight solid, great competition. I want to see good fights. I think Canelo is a good fighter. He needs to prove it. He really hasn't done anything besides Trout, and then just, he lost to Mayweather, which I think that's not a bad thing on his record to lose to the best pound-for-pound fighter. If anything, it'll help him improve. It'll help him work on his flaws. It'll help him watch tape of what he did wrong in the fight. It's always good. I think that's always good. To go in there, lose to the best, but now he's got a loss on his record. He knows what it feels like. He knows how horrible it feels, and he never wants to have that feeling again. That will help his career. He needs to go now. He needs to dominate these 3 fights, and 2015 could be an amazing year for him. It could really open up opportunities. March 8th, those 3 opponents. Look for those 3 opponents. If in July the Cotto fight doesn't happen, if he does not go to Showtime, if he decides to go another route, look for Laura or a rematch with Trout. Those are great fights in July. I'm leaning more towards Laura though. That will be a very good fight. It will test Canelo's skills, which we all want to see. All fans want to see Canelo's skills get tested. This is the best way to get him tested, is to have him just fight. Throw him out there and fight. Let's not talk about it. Let's not see him fight garbage opponents and go, and then talk. I'm sick of talking. I want to see it done in the ring. Canelo is a young, hungry champion. Fight the best out there. Go after it. I think this is I was very happy when I saw this. I think Golden Boy really wants Canelo to be the next big thing. They're doing the right thing with him. They're setting everything up for success. All he has to do is show up and put in the work. They have the dates ready. They have it invested in him. He's ready. I think he's hungry. He's 23, and he wants to be the best. I saw how sad and depressed he was after he lost to Floyd. He didn't care about the money. He cared about the loss. And that showed me that he really wants this. He wants to be considered one of the greatest boxers. The best way to do that is to fight the greats. And if he can have one of these years where it sets him up for an even better 2015, if he can beat these guys I've named, if he can finish the year with a Sergio Martinez on his resume, that will just do wonders for him. At the age of 23, he'll be 24 when he fights Sergio, but that would just do wonders, and it would take his career further. I think it's a great move by Golden Boy. I love to see what Canelo does next year. I think he just improves, and I really do think he has a great year. Tell me what you guys think. Comment, please. Debate me if you feel Canelo's done and he's garbage. I definitely would like to reply to that. Thanks a lot, guys. Take it easy.